Greetings and welcome back to Christian News and Views. This is episode 202. And before I get started, I do want to make an apology. Yesterday's Monday uh, thing didn't get Christian News and Views. I don't believe I got it published. If you didn't see it, it's because I was having trouble with uh, YouTube. Got it corrected, and now I'm back on track. So if you didn't see it, that's why. If you did see it, then I'm glad for that. But anyhow, today is Tuesday, and we're going to be talking tariffs again. This time, this one comes out of Geneva, and this is Associated Press. So remember, uh, don't take things at face value. Be Try to read behind or underneath the lines, behind the lines. So I'm going to read the article and then I will make my comment on it. Switzerland's president and other top officials were traveling to Washington on Tuesday, that's today, in a hastily arranged trip aimed at striking a deal with the Trump administration over steep U.S. tariffs that have cast a pall over Swiss industries like deck chocolates, machinery, and watchmaking. President Karen Keller Sutter was leading the delegation after last week's announcement that exports of Swiss goods to the U.S. will face a whopping 39% tariff starting Thursday, a move that took many Swiss business leaders by surprise. That rate is over 2.5 times higher than the one on European Union goods exported to the U.S. and nearly 4 times higher than on British exports to the U.S. It's also more than the 31% that Switzerland had been set to face with when U.S. President Donald Trump announced his Liberation Day tariffs on products from dozens of countries in early April. The Swiss government said the trip was to facilitate meetings with the U.S. authorities at short notice and hold talks with a view to improving the tariff situation for Switzerland. Keller Sutter, who also serves as Switzerland's finance minister, has faced criticism in Swiss media over a last-ditch call with Trump before a U.S. deadline on tariffs expired August 1st. She was leading a team that included Economy Minister Guy Parmelin. In an interview with CNBC on Tuesday, Trump alluded to the call, saying the woman was nice, but she didn't want to listen, and that he had told her, "We have a $41 billion deficit with you, madam, and you want to pay 1% tariffs." I said, "You're not going to pay 1%, he added. Now, listen, this next statement here, I'm imposing my opinion here. I'm going to make a comment right immediately after I read this. It was not immediately clear where that $41 billion figure came from. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the United States ran a $38.3 billion trade imbalance on goods last year with Switzerland. Now, here's my opinion on that. What difference does it make? You're talking billions of dollars. So 38 billion and 41 billion, $3 billion difference. So even if he's wrong, and I'm not saying he is, even if he's wrong, it's still $38.3 billion deficit. It's in their favor, really. So this is another little nitpicking thing. I don't know who he talks to and where he gets his information from, but he obviously believes that the 41 billion is the correct number. And the U.S. Census Bureau comes out with something different. But there's room when you get up to high numbers like that. I would imagine there's some flexibility there as to criteria they use and everything else. One person could come out with one number and somebody else come out with a number. Any way you look at it, Switzerland is trying to get by with a 1% tariff when they have such a huge billions of dollars trade imbalance. Back to the article. Swiss officials have argued that American goods face virtually zero tariffs in Switzerland. And the Swiss government says the wealthy Alpine country is the sixth biggest foreign investor in the United States and a leading investor in research and development. It's hard to negotiate when you're dealing with someone as unpredictable as Donald Trump, said Ivan Slatkine, head of the Federation of Romandie Enterprises, which groups companies in French-speaking Switzerland. He expressed concern that Swiss goods could become less competitive to rival products from the neighboring EU. We had a Swiss government that gave the impression a deal was done. It only awaited a signature from the president, he said by phone. We have the impression that we were punished, but we don't know why. Switzerland's powerful pharmaceutical industry, which promised tens of billions of investments in the United States in recent months amid the tariff worries, is exempt from the 39% rate. But Slatkine said the steep tariff level could be aimed to send Switzerland's big pharma, epitomized by Roche and Novartis, a message that it too could come under pressure. The trip comes a day after Switzerland's executive branch, the Federal Council, held an extraordinary meeting and said it was keen to pursue talks with the United States on the tariff situation, the government statement Tuesday said. After consulting with Swiss businesses, the council said it had developed new approaches for its discussions with U.S. officials and was looking ahead to continued negotiations. Switzerland enters this new phase ready to present a more attractive offer, taking U.S. concerns into account and seeking to ease the current tariff situation, a council statement said Monday. Under the U.S. announcements Friday, Swiss companies will now have one of the steepest export duties. Only Laos, Myanmar, and Syria had higher figures at 40 to 41%. So here's my opinion. When will they learn? Instead of saying President Trump is unpredictable, they'd be better situated if they recognize that he wants what he has said from the beginning. Or when I'm translating into my words, he wants a level playing field. And if he doesn't get that, then the tariffs will land on them very hard. That's simple. It's not unpredictable. He's operating within the realm of what he wants to do, and he's operating within the tactics that he, as a New York realtor at one point in his life, learned. Ask for more than what you want, settle for either what you want or higher. That's basically what it is. There's far more technical. You could write a whole book. In fact, I think he has on that. But that's how I summarize it. So how about this? How about just taking him at his word? Wouldn't that be better? You just take him at his word. He has pretty well laid out what he wants to do. He's put it out there, and he says you're going to either pay this. And by the way, he's not only said it with his mouth, he said it with his actions. The agreements he's made with other countries have all followed suit. He asks for this, he brings it down and settles for this, which puts it usually at or above what he, if you look at it, that seems to be where he wanted to land. So he's a master negotiator. Take him at his word and meet him where he wants you to meet him at. Why go through all this hassle? Why make other people in your country upset with not just him, but with yourself? And so some of these politicians may find their political careers in jeopardy now, and they've got mud on their face. So take him at his word. Learn from this. We're always learning things. The fact that I had trouble with YouTube was a learning lesson for me. Well, the fact that they are making these last minute calls should be a teaching moment, a learning moment a teaching moment for him, a learning moment for them. Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you haven't yet subscribed, I pray that you will. It's an encouragement to me. And I say this every time, I always try to give you three things. I try to inform you, I try to encourage you, and I try to inspire you. Hopefully, at least one of those things I managed today. And if I didn't, then let me know. I'll try to improve. If you disagree with what I say, let me know. We can talk. And maybe you have something you can sway my mind a different way. Just keep it civil. Well, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next episode.